It was a chilly Friday night in downtown Seattle. The streets were almost empty, just the occasional hum of passing cars. But what I saw next changed everything. I had just parked my motorcycle outside a small diner on the edge of the city. I'd been riding all day, the kind of ride that clears your mind, makes you forget everything else. As I zipped up my jacket and swung my helmet off, a faint sound stopped me in my tracks. "Please, don't hurt me. I can't move." The voice was weak, trembling. I froze. My instincts screamed that something was terribly wrong. I followed the sound and found her. A girl in her early 20s, sitting against the cold brick wall of an alley. Her clothes were torn, and she was trembling uncontrollably. Her eyes were wide, filled with fear. She looked like she'd been there for hours. Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you," I said, keeping my voice calm. Her body shook as she whispered, He said he'd come back. I can't move." I knelt beside her. She had clearly been beaten, her hands scraped, her legs twisted awkwardly. Something inside me snapped, the kind of anger that makes you forget everything but protecting someone in danger. Earlier that evening, I had noticed a black SUV tailing a group of kids near the market. Something about it didn't sit right with me, but I shrugged it off, thinking it was probably just coincidence. Little did I know it was connected to the girl in the alley. I took off my jacket and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. "You're safe now, I promise. No one's going to hurt you again." She sniffled, tears mixing with the dirt on her face. I don't even know your name." "Call me Ryan," I said. "I'll get you out of here." Her hands were shaking as I helped her to her feet. She leaned on me, barely able to walk. Every step was a battle, but her trust in me was evident in her eyes. She wasn't just scared. She was broken, and I had to make sure she felt human again. I lifted her onto the back of my bike, careful not to jostle her injured leg. The engine roared to life, cutting through the silence of the night. As we sped through the city streets, her grip on my jacket tightened. I don't know what I'd have done if you hadn't come," she murmured. "You don't have to think about that now. We'll get you somewhere safe," I replied. The night air was freezing, but there was a strange warmth between us. A connection formed in the midst of chaos. It wasn't romantic. It was trust, pure and simple. Someone who needed help, and someone who refused to let her fall. I brought her to a small, well-lit apartment I had access to. It wasn't much, but it was secure. I helped her onto the couch, wrapped her in blankets, and handed her a bottle of water. She finally let out a long, trembling sigh. I'm okay now," she said, almost disbelievingly. "You are," I said, sitting down across from her. "No one's going to hurt you again. Not tonight, not ever." Her voice cracked. I thought I'd never see anyone kind again. And that's when it hit me. The world can be cruel, but even in its darkest corners, kindness still exists. Sometimes it comes in the form of a stranger on a motorcycle. I called the police, gave them all the details I could remember about her attacker and the SUV I'd seen earlier. While we waited, we talked. She told me her name was Emma, that she had been running from someone she barely knew but who had threatened her life. The police arrived, professional and calm. They took over, ensuring she was safe and would receive proper care. I stayed outside as they led her to the patrol car. Emma looked at me one last time, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you truly. You saved my life." I nodded, tipping my helmet slightly. "Just remember, don't ever be afraid to reach out. People do care." As the police car drove away, I felt a strange emptiness, but also a sense of purpose. Sometimes being in the right place at the right time can change a life and maybe even yours. That night taught me something. Fear can paralyze, but courage, even in small acts of kindness, can save someone from the darkness. I don't know what the future holds for Emma, but I do know this. No one deserves to face their nightmares alone. The motorcycle purred beneath me, the city lights reflecting on the wet asphalt. And as I rode into the night, I realized that sometimes heroes aren't born. They're made in moments when someone chooses to act not because they have to, but because they care. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, one act of kindness can change someone's life forever.